It's Ashton Faye with Keller Williams Real Estate. Another episode of Keys, Chaos, and Client Tales. And I'm here today with Kira Truett from Motto Mortgage. Thank you for joining us, Kira.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Always wonderful. I love having her be the lender on my deals whenever possible. She's helped out with so many transactions. Anytime something gets sticky, I send it over to Kira. She works magic.
Exactly. I'm your home loan superhero. You got to have someone come in and save the day.
Exactly. But Kira has put together the 10 commandments of loans, where these are the things that you absolutely do not do when you are trying to get a home loan. And all of these have been created because they are deal
They
killers.
happen, and they happen so often. I didn't create the list. I was given this list when I first became a loan officer.
You were
And I was like,
given
yeah,
this
that's
list
really
by
great
the
advice.
gods.
Kind of. I mean, I think they call them senior loan officers or something, manager. I don't know. But I did not appreciate in my youth the importance of this list until we trip and fall on our face on them over and over and over again.
So last week we had commandment number 1, which is we do not quit or change our jobs. Basically, you need income to have a loan. And if you
We're
change
really picky
that
about that.
income,
The mortgage industry might have crashed the entire economy back in 2008. And since then, they have made it so we have to verify that you have the ability to repay the loan. So weird.
you have to have income. You have to be able
I
to
think
pay
income
your
is a
bills.
huge part of that.
If you don't have income, you cannot get a loan. So, commandment number 1,
Pretty much.
you
The
must
very
have a
first one that
job.
we talked about last week was thou shalt not change jobs. That's important. We're going to keep that part, and that's going to be easy. Commandment number 2,
Oh,
thou
no.
shalt not buy a car, truck, or boat unless you plan on living in it instead.
Instead.
We're probably not getting a house and these other giant items together. I'm not going to say it's impossible because I don't have a story today where we didn't make it happen, but it is one extraordinarily stressful for your loan officer, and I guarantee very stressful for you also. It's not worth it. So part of that process of making sure that you have the ability to repay is we're looking at something called the debt to income ratio. So the debt in I'm sorry to bring this back to math class in like fractions and things, but in the numerator is the debt and in the denominator is the income. So if you can't divide anything by 0, hence needing the job or income or sort. But once we have that part and it's there and it's stable and we didn't quit, then the debt part is going to be the other important aspect. Like we have to stay within a certain ratio. And if you are pushing your ratios, which is so common here, housing is expensive in Western Washington. And so even though like it would be ideal if we kept our like housing expense to, I think the recommendation is like 25%. It's more common, unfortunately, here to be more in like that 45%. And I've seen as high as 56%. Right. So if we're in these 40s, 50 category, we need to be really, really cautious about what kind of additional debts or any debts that we have, period, factoring into this ratio, because this is the line in the sand where they say, no, you can't have the loan anymore. And if you cross it, if you exceed your debts, now the answer went from yes to no overnight. And so we really got to be careful on that one. And the reason we say cars, trucks, boats is because these are all installment loans. So those monthly payments are usually rather large. I have had one get as high as $1,000 a month. I can't fathom personally having a car payment that is $1,000 a month that we thought was going to be okay to purchase while we're in the middle of things.
I have a friend that just bought a car for Christmas for herself, and I was oohing and eyeing over it, and then we got talking money. Yeah, her car payment is $1,000 a month. I don't understand it. I bought my car used. Daisy May is a little trash panda, and I make no payments on her. She's fantastic.
I mean, I have had car loans in the past, no judgment, because it's hard to have enough money to, in fact, buy it. It's just
Absolutely.
if the goal is to be buying a house, then this is not the time to have that goal also be buying a car because we're looking at that snapshot of what things look like and how your financial picture is. And if you just added a big giant car into my snapshot,
Right, right.
it's going to be a lot harder to make that happen. So it doesn't mean it's a no. Like if you make so much money that adding an additional $1,000 a month isn't going to break it, then you can. You might hate your loan officer for how much paperwork we ask you for, though, because we're going to find out, we're going to know, and we're going to get flags. And now we're going to have to find out everything about it. Like, well, how much do we owe on the car? What is the payment on that? How long are you going to be paying on it? And if you've just bought that at the dealership, sometimes that paperwork is not immediately available. And so this could easily delay your closing, assuming it doesn't destroy it entirely. Because I have had someone that they could totally qualify for it. It was fine, except we had 4 weeks to close and it took us 3 of those weeks. Thank goodness they did this early on because it took us 3 weeks to get that paperwork. And I was like that, trust me, that agent was also stressing and being like, this has to come in enough time to make it happen. Like it just does. There's no like getting around that portion. If we don't have all of the documentation that we need, then it's a question mark, and mortgage places do not lend based off of question marks. So we have to know all of the things.
When Kira helped me buy my house a few years ago, I went out 2 days after we closed on the new house and bought myself a new car. That was fine. That was fine
Mhm.
because we had already closed. I
Ex
already had the keys in hand. The loan was already paid.
Mhm.
We didn't need to worry about it. I no
Absolutely
longer have that car. I go through cars pretty quickly because I tend to crash them. That's
fine.
why I have a cheap trash panda for a car. It's fine. It's fine.
And if you do have something happen, like I have had clients get into, I think only two. Two is not terrible. I've been doing this for 10 years now, but I've had like an accident happen while we're in the middle of the transaction. And like they may only have one car for the family. I I, I love when the clients call and they ask first because they've seen
Yes.
my 10 commandments and they're like, Kira, we have to have transportation. I have to get to my job because we're not quitting our job. Remember, we're not changing our jobs and we're not
Yep.
quitting our jobs. That is the number one commandment. And this one comes in number two. So I'm like, I am so sorry, but you are going to rent a car for the next couple weeks until closing. And let's see if we can get this closed early so that we
Yep.
can rent that as little as, or for as short a time as possible, because you need to borrow, rent, don't steal, because I need you to stay out of jail too. That's not a commandment, but it's just good advice.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I have heard of another loan officer where they had to have like the notary show up in the jail with them. I don't know that that's like a common one, but let's avoid
Oh,
that. So no stealing cars, borrowing or renting a car until closing so that you can make sure that you get there. And then again, once keys are in your hand, that loan is closed. We're not checking up on you again right afterwards. Like we are basing it off the snapshot that we have at that time.
Yep. After you sign the final paperwork, you've got the keys. The car is yours. You can go out that same day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just make
So
sure the keys are already in your hand. You've already signed the papers. It's already closed.
no,
Because
signed
on
it
the day
before.
of closing,
We still get to check. That soft thing is there. It's going to flag. Don't even try. That it's almost like people have tried to commit fraud a lot over the years, and we get really, really good at finding ways to make sure that that doesn't happen, which is part of what can be frustrating about getting a home loan in general is all of the things that we're constantly asking for, and it's because someone else tried to get away with something. Hence
yep.
needing all of that paperwork if you do buy a car and can't afford it somehow. Or let's say you buy a car that it does knock us over the debt to income ratio. So now, we no longer have an approval. We have to get rid of that car payment. So how do you get rid of a car payment?
No.
You have to pay it off. I mean, you can sell it immediately. I've heard of some loan officers where they bought a new car and they literally returned it like within a few days. I think there's a law where you're allowed to do that in a very short period of time. Don't quote me on that, guys. Don't buy a car beforehand and then think you're going to return it. I'm not here for legal advice. But that would be an option. Return it, sell it immediately. Or I had one client actually they pulled money from their retirement in order to pay off that car. So the only reason that pulling from retirement works for this is the guidelines are written in a weird way. If you are borrowing money from your own assets, in this case, like a 401k loan, I don't have to factor in what that monthly payment is. So because they were taking money from their own retirement and get a loan from your own retirement, we could do this and not have it completely blow out their debt to income ratio. It's not recommended. It's definitely like if you're messing with your own retirement funds later, a loan is better than pulling the money from it because then you're also going to be paying taxes on the money that you've pulled out of your retirement fund. So again, not a tax consultant here, but doing the loan against it at least makes more sense on that one. And that's how we managed to make that one still make it to closing, which is vital. But even better, avoid the whole situation entirely and just don't do that.
Just
Follow
don't do it.
commandment number 2. Don't buy that.
Don't buy
And
the
no
car.
boat is worth it.
I mean, some
It's not
boats
gonna get
have
you to
little
work.
cabins that you could live. But
Okay, but I don't
honestly, we're
recommend
going house shopping.
houseboats.
We're going house shopping. You wanted the house. You didn't want to live on the boat. So let's not go buy a boat.
I just can't justify that one at all, personally, unless, again, you're living in it. The car, at least, you might need it.
My dad, during the stay-at-home order, COVID, all that stuff that was going on, got a boat for free off of like Craigslist or whatever. And that
Okay.
was his COVID stay-at-home project. That boat has never seen the water.
To this day.
To this day, has never seen the water. It is like 90% finished and it's just sitting. And he hasn't visited it in like 2 years. So it's been in the same stale state, never
Imagine if
been on
that
the
boat
water.
wasn't free and made it so you didn't get a house.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Thank you so much for being with us here today again, Kara. I am so excited to hear more insane stories because I get to see one side of it as a real estate agent. You get to see an entirely different side of the transactions. And
It really
oh my
shows how you
gosh.
need a professional on both sides to help keep these
Yes,
things together.
absolutely. I so enjoy talking to you every time I get to. The stories that you come up with are just crazy. I'm so sorry that I just throw all of my tricky situations at you because I was like, Kira's been through this before. She can deal with this.
Fine. Yeah. And call Ashton when you're
Uh-huh.
ready. What's your
I
tagline?
am,
I'll be here when you're ready. What
yep,
if you're ready
I'm
now?
always here when you're ready. Let me know if now you're ready. Let's talk. 425-491-1620. I'll help you find the home. Kira's
I'll help
here
you
to help
find the
you
money
fund the home. Yep.
and give
Um,
me a call. 520.
Fantastic. Check me out on all of the social platforms. Wherever you are, I will be there too. Ashton for Homes or Ashton Faye. I'll see you next time. Thanks.